Oh, yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Are you ready?
For your moment of bliss.
Because what Poppy wants, Poppy gets.
I don't even know if that's PG!
I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it for me.
That's the bottom line! It's time! It's time!
Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to
Cream of the Crop Wrestling.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better! It's still real to me, damn it!
Hello and welcome to Cream of the Crop Wrestling, the show that will kick over your sandcastle if we catch you on our beach. We are the tag team champions of the program. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Rob, and we'd like everyone to embrace the Kingdom of the Madness by be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Pat, it's official. No more stops. We are on the road to WrestleMania.
We are indeed. We have approximately a little less than 5 weeks. So it seems not that far, but I don't know. The way the show went tonight, we got a slow build to WrestleMania, do we not?
I think they're taking their time. They got 5 weeks of television, so I think as kind of we go forward right now for this week and next week, we're just going to get clarity on where we're heading, and then those final 3 weeks are going to really build the intensity up as we go forward.
Well, let's get to the bottom line of WWE Monday Night Raw, February 20th, 2023. The show started with Sami Zayn apologizing to Kevin Owens. A humbled Sami thanked Owens for coming out at Elimination Chamber, and then he suggested that they take down the Bloodline together. But Owens said, as far as he's concerned, Owens has been fighting the Bloodline alone, so if Sami wants help taking down the Bloodline, maybe he should ask his buddy Jay. We didn't get the Sami Kevin embrace at Elimination Chamber. We didn't get it tonight. I hope this will be a slow build to them finally reuniting because it's going to be that much sweeter. What do you think, Rob?
Slow burn, slow and steady wins the race on this one. I mean, their interactions together are always great. And this was like just very genuine. So when Sammy was in front of Kevin, like, it's kind of like, hey, I've had all these things I wanted to say to you, but now you're here. And I can't think of the words right now because of just, how emotional he is at the time, especially getting help from his friend. And Kevin just telling him, hey, none of this was for you. This was for my family because they got to watch me get my ass kicked in front of Roman. And your family was watching you get your ass kicked, and I didn't want them to see that. So this was not for you. This was for me. This was for my family. So that was a great line. Love, hey, go ask your buddy Jay if you want to help, taking down the bloodline. And just, it's going to be a slow build of just Sammy has to earn Kevin's trust, almost similar to how you had to earn the bloodline's trust, but I think it's going to be less comedic at this time. I think this time it's actually going to be a little bit more on the serious note. You're going to see a little bit more of the side of Sammy of probably getting down again and then getting up when that moment finally hits, where we get that huge hug that'll probably come a week, 2 weeks before Mania, somewhere in there. So this is a great start to that slow burn.
Well, before Sammy could even get to the backstage, Baron Corbin attacks him from behind, goes to the ring and cuts a promo, calling Sammy a failure, and it led to a match between Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn. Sami still bruised from the battle with Reigns 2 nights before. He wins with a haluva kick for the pin. It was a long match and it wasn't bad. The setup, the match, and the outcome were all okay. Sadly, I feel there may be a rain cloud called Baron Corbin, and he's not done raining on the Sami Zayn parade. What do you think, Rob?
Match was fine. Very standard television match between two guys who can work really well. I mean, Sammy, I think this was a final. This whole weekend was about Sami Zayn. Like, he was in Canada. They were just finishing out the show. This was all about Sami Zayn. I think this was a good way to get him out early, get the crowd on his side, get him a win over someone that, it's Baron Corbin. Everyone hates in general. And just a nice way to kind of get a little bit more momentum back as he leaves his country and we go back down to the States. So it was to me just a very standard, awesome, good way to start off Raw. Sammy gets the win. We're happy. So nothing too crazy here. More just Baron's just our resident Raw jobber right now.
What would you rate this match, Rob?
2 cream cups. It was it existed. Nothing great about it, nothing bad about it. Just it was there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Next up, Byron Saxton interviewed Rhea Ripley with Dominic by her side. Rhea didn't want to talk about Edge and Beth. Instead, she talked about Charlotte because they'll have a face-to-face this Friday on SmackDown. And Dominic's going to tag along because his dad has a match. Dominic's still acting tough is fun, and it looks like We'll be leading into the Ray Dom match coming at WrestleMania, and Rhea and Ripley face to face for the first time in a long time. After that was Austin Theory being interviewed about his victory at Elimination Chamber and his U.S. Open Challenge tonight with Edge, but he was upset about the headlines because they were talking about John Cena returning to Raw in 2 weeks. Theory cut a decent promo here, but what do you have to say about him facing John Cena, Rob?
I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is the US title is involved as of now. That could change. So I mean, we still got some time left. I just always think whenever you have um, a veteran that's a part timer going against a newer young guy, while the match will be fun and I think the match will be good, when you have a title involved, it kind of hamstrings the outcome a little bit and it kind of telegraphs it some too. So, like, if Cena's involved and this is not a one off, you kind of know he's not going to win because he's not wrestling full time with the belt, that kind of stuff. So, I hope they get the title off Theory in time for this. But as a match, I think promo wise and match wise, I mean, it's gonna be good. Like Theory does great stuff in the ring. Cena is Cena, and yeah, it's gonna be one of those that's gonna be a lot of. We're gonna get a lot of false finisher near falls in this one.
The next match was Dolph Ziggler versus Mustafa Ali. Ziggler was out to teach Ali a lesson after the last few weeks' interactions with him. But Mustafa Ali wins, reversing the Famouser into a roll up. This wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a good match. I give this match 2 creams. What about you, Rob?
I was gonna go one cream, only because Mustafa and Dolph are like so good, and I know they didn't have really a whole lot of time. So I think when the time gets allotted, they're gonna put together one of those TV matches that you're gonna be like, that was a fun 20 minutes. So I'm kind of waiting for that moment to come. Otherwise, Mustafa got a rare win on TV, and Dolph just just
Yeah,
keeps
his
falling
first in
down
a
the
long
card.
time. Next was Cody Rhodes' promo, and he was interrupted by Paul Heyman on the Titantron sporting a neck brace. Heyman suggests maybe Cody doesn't want to win the title because that would mean being on the road more and away from his daughter and his family. And that's just like his father was when he was a kid. This was a decent promo, ending with Cody saying he doesn't want to see Paul again. It's about time him and Roman cross paths soon. What do you think about this promo, Rob?
Heyman knows how to get so personal so quick. One of my favorite lines he talked about while, when you're a champion, you're going to be on the road 300 days a year. And then when you are home for those 60 days, you have Zoom meetings and Skype meetings. So are you really home? And then he ties it in at the end where he says, your wife and your child are going to be cold when you're not there. And Roman is a happily married man, but I'm not. And I'll keep things warm for you while you're gone. Bro, I lost it when he said that. First of all, the image of just Paul Heyman and Brady together was funny. But like that is like what a deep cut, man. Like that is just cutting it, like letting you know, oh man, that one really felt deep there. So I I can't wait to get Cody and Roman together. But if this is just gonna be a Cody Rhodes Paul Heyman feud, going into it, I'm okay if these are gonna be the promos that we're gonna get every week. So yeah, I actually love so I get a little upset when people have a promo against who they're going to face and they trash talk them before them and let them talk about their weaknesses, talk about their no good, their this or that. And then if you go out there and beat them, well, who cares then? You just beat someone who you said was no good. Now, when Cody goes out there and says Roman is all the accolades, says all the great things about him, and then he's going to go out there and beat him, where does that put Cody? Like, I love promos like that. That such a big fight feel.
Next, Asuka faced Nikki Cross with Bianca Belair sitting at ringside. Asuka beat Nikki with the Asuka lock, and it was an okay match. They had a commercial break during that kind of ruins it. But the focus was the stare down with Bianca at the end, with Asuka showing her blue mist dripping out of her mouth. I give the match itself 2 creams, Rob. What about you?
Yeah, same, two creams. It was what it was. I would like to see. I know that you want to give women a little bit more offense. Right now, with Asuka's character, I don't care who she's in the ring with. She should just be dominating the matches and winning in 2 minutes. I don't want to see any offense from anyone else. Just let her do her thing. But it was all about just the visual at the end. You wanted to get Asuka with the menacing blue mist. You wanted to get the WrestleMania sign in the background, the two women face to face. So they got their shot. It's going to look excellent for the package video. I mean, that's really all it was for.
After that, Carmella cuts a promo in an interview about Asuka. Then Seth Rollins cuts a promo about Logan Paul ruining his WrestleMania plans and how he plans to take it out on The Miz later on. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna enjoy this feud. I know a lot of people are kind of like, ugh, Seth Rollins in a celebrity feud. I don't care if Logan Paul's had 3 matches. He's looked good in all of them. And I don't care if he has to rehearse his matches for months on end. I'm gonna only see it once and I'm gonna enjoy it. So but the feud going into it are two guys that are alpha males when it comes to their egos. And you have one guy coming into essentially the territory and just going straight to the top. And then you have one guy that's been around the business for 20 plus years who worked his way up. And they are going to just, it's going to get personal and it's going to get personal quick. And I don't think we're going to see a lot of violence towards each other before the matches. I think this is going to be one of the feuds that you're going to see where, oh no, Seth showed up on his podcast and beat him up in his studio. Or you're going to get a lot of Logan Paul just training montage videos in his own time, stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to it.
Next, MVP and Omos challenges Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and we'll find out next week if Brock accepts on Monday Night Raw. After that, Seth Rollins beat The Miz with 3 stomps and the referee stopping the match. Seth let out all of his frustrations on The Miz, and it was a decent match with a different type of ending. I give it 3 creams overall. What about you?
I gave it 3 creams as well. We're on the same page today. I like it. Um, this is actually one of my new favorite endings for a TV show. I actually got really upset. So I was watching it and then I see the ref just call it off after the third stomp. And I thought they were going to do one of those stupid DQ finishes where, oh no, he went too far. We have to just, which doesn't ever make sense. But no, it was like a TKO. And I was like, oh, that's a good way to end it. I like that. Uh, it's Miz. Okay, it's Miz and Rollins. So the match is going to be good. So go out and watch it. But the ending I thought was really really creative. We haven't seen it in a long time, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're getting even more deranged, intense Seth Rollins, and that ending, sign me up. It was good.
We saw Adam Pearce talking to Carmella, making her match with Asuka official. Then he gets a phone call from Chelsea Green, who was sent to the wrong city. Then we see a confrontation between Bronson Reed and Alpha Academy followed after that. But let's talk about Chelsea Green being sent to the wrong city, Rob.
I love the interaction between these two. Like it's just so much fun. Like it's one of the few times Adam Pearce is going to get one over on someone, and it's always Chelsea Green who's playing it up so well. I didn't even look up if there was an Ottawa, Illinois, uh, but I love to just number one. Adam Pearce has the most clear speaker phone of all time. We got the entire conversation through a microphone. That was very very nice. But on top of that too, Adam Pearce doing the normal, oh no, Chelsea, I can't hear you, click, that kind of thing. It's not going to lead to anything that's super interesting or super whatever, but it is such a nice reprieve from a lot of the show. So I kudos to both. I love it.
Well, let's talk about Becky Lynch setting her sights on the tag team titles. Hall of Fame partner Lita. Becky and Lita interrupted Damage Control on Bailey's Ding Dong Hello show and issued a challenge before WrestleMania. And Bailey accepted on Dakota and Io's behalf. What do you think, Rob?
I think that's the start of when we're finally going to get a turn somewhere. Anytime that the leader or the manager accepts on the behalf of people is when generally that's when the friction starts itself. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see how Lita's going to do in a full length match because we haven't seen her do one since I think Evolution. So see how she goes there. But Lynch and Lita is a fun tag team. Nice nostalgia. Should do well in the ratings. And I mean, if we're trying to look forward towards WrestleMania, I love Io and Dakota, but they're not there yet. And so if you're telling me what's a bigger match, Shayna and Ronda versus Io and Dakota, or Shayna and Ronda versus Becky and Lita, give me that second one all day long.
Next, Candice LeRae gives us an update on Johnny Gargano, who was banged up pretty bad at Elimination Chamber. Then she stops Nikki Cross and asks her why she's been following her lately. Nikki tells Candice all Nikki's friends are gone and she's all alone. I think this definitely confirms a sanity return. Looking forward to that. The next match was Bronson Reed beating Chad Gable with the tsunami for the pinfall. Meanwhile, Otis was distracted by Maxine Dupree at ringside. Another okay match with Bronson Reed looking strong and the story being all about Otis. I give the match overall 2 creams, Rob. What about you?
The same well as two creams as well. There's some fun spots here, like Chad Gable getting that German suplex on there. Like the strength of that dude is ridiculous. The tsunami splash, man, a big man splashed off the top rope is gonna get me. I don't care if they're doing it in 1980, if they're doing it in 2050. I'm gonna enjoy it every single time. So I thought this was a good way. After Bronson Reed had an amazing showing in the Elimination Chamber, I think he's starting to really get over with his power moves. So I think this was a good way and a good person in the ring to just kind of progress that forward. And I'm gonna safely assume we're gonna have a match with Otis next week, and it's gonna be two dudes just pounding on each other. Genuine question: Did you see the full-on hand mark on Bronson Reed's chest afterwards? Like it was legit just this is Chad Gable's full hand right on the chest. Like no red mark slapping, just a handprint. And it was brutal, brutal. But yeah, no, it was fine.
Next, Elias was in the ring with Rick Boogs backstage taking notes. Elias issued an open challenge when Bobby Lashley came out and beat the hell out of Elias, put him in the hurt lock. Bobby then cut a promo directed at everyone backstage saying no one disrespects him. What do you have to say about the Bobby Lashley?
Dude, he is just coming off as such a star right now. Like just a pure actual badass that he's been in all reality for like the last 2 years, but it just keeps getting the ante keeps getting put up more and more and more because he's becoming almost unbeatable. Like the last time I think he's like seriously lost where he took the pin, wasn't it? I think it was against Lesnar at Crown Jewel or whatever the Saudi show was called, and that was like a fluke roll up. You know, Lesnar beat him with a fluke roll up. So the dude's been on a streak, mixed with a combination of just putting people out, mixed with a combination of Lesnar having to resort to low blows just to get out of a match with him. So the dude looks like a star. My favorite part of this entire segment was the feverishly note-taking abilities from Boogs backstage. That I don't know, that just tickled me. So I said a few weeks ago I'm not a Boogs guy. I could be wrong. I may not be a Boogs guy in the ring, but I like some Boogs backstage segments.
Well, before we get to the main event of the night, Edge cuts a promo talking about how good it felt to win at Elimination Chamber. He goes on to talk about how he's hoping to get one more title run in before he finally retires, but time is running out. It leads into our next to our main event match, which is Edge versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Unfortunately, Finn Balor causes the distraction for Theory to hit the 8-count down to retain the title. Then Finn beats Edge down after the match. This was a good match with both men looking their best. The finish is not a happy ending, but it does put that promo earlier into perspective. Edge said his time is running out. I give the match 3 creams, Rob. What about you?
I give it the same 3 creams, nothing over the top. Theory's had a few better matches on TV, but this still was a good match. You have Edge in the ring with him, so you know you can't expect anything different. Let's get to the main part here. So after we had the mixed tag match at Elimination Chamber, we were wondering, is he going to be done with the Judgment Day? Is he done with Finn Balor? Answer is obviously no. The rumor mill is they're going to finally finish it off at WrestleMania. So we are going to, I think, kind of confirm that Edge and Finn Balor can just go ahead and be slated in for a WrestleMania match as we go forward. So you know, let's just look forward to that for the next few weeks. And then Austin Theory getting the win, not really being a focus, if I'm being honest here. He went out there, did his thing, got the win, got out of there because it was about Finn and Edge. So as we move forward here, I'm kind of curious on where Austin Theory lies in. I know we talk about he's going to be with Cena. We know that here, but man, that United States Championship though, like, is that something he's going to hold the whole time? Is he going to drop that off? Like, I'm just genuinely curious on what they're going to do with that going forward. So, or even better, keep him as champion. Let him keep beating people and just make it a non-title match. Like, just say, dude, that would be even better, to be honest with you. So I hope we get a little bit more Theory backstage promos going forward. And this Theory, I would like to see actually Theory beat up on some more veterans. Like, I want to see him beat up a little bit more Dolph Ziggler, just beat up guys that were in Cena's era. Like, even, you know what? I'm saying this now. I want Austin Theory to do a vicious backstage beatdown with weapons and everything on R-Truth. I think that would just really, you know, Truth and Cena, good friends. I think R-Truth is the one that's going to get a massive, massive beatdown just to let Cena know, like, hey, like, this is serious. This is what you have to look forward to. Go tell Jimmy.
WrestleMania is just a little less than 5 weeks away, and this show focused on slow build, all the possibilities that we're going to see at WrestleMania. Really wasn't a bad show. Nothing was really good either. I'm gonna give Raw overall 2 creams. What about you, Rob?
I am in agreement with you. I give it 2 creams. I agree with you where there's just nothing. There's nothing that stood out. Like there's nothing you guys that anyone needs to go back and rewatch and say, "Oh my gosh, that was a moment." I think today we just got a moment of clarity, just putting everything in its place where it needs to be as we build going forward. Like everyone can like we can sit here and I think name off 10 to 11 matches between night 1 and night 2 that is essentially already in the books without saying it's in the book. So, while that you know, I actually think that's awesome because in Manias in the past, you'd be scrambling in the last 2 weeks to get things put together. So I'm actually excited to see all this stuff has already been put together a month, 2 months ahead of time, and you can make every match have a build going forward.
We hope you enjoyed our program. Be sure to embrace the madness by liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you can enjoy wrestling with us. I'm Pat, he's Rob, and we'll see you next time.